I'd like to look at GPK's very impressive, his driving skills. This guy knows what he's doing. So, kill a lane, gank, kill a lane, push out mid, kill a lane, push out mid, smoke to another lane, push out mid, kill some stupid support who's walking through the river for no reason. Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Speeder, and today we're going to be looking at a Pango gameplay. This is GPK on a rank 3 pangolier, and I have a very genuine question for you guys. How in the world is Pango's win rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th? He's the 10th lowest win rate here on Dota. How in the world have you guys managed to be so bad at Dota where pangolier is the 10th lowest win rate hero in Dota? This hero is insane. It's insane. How is it the 10th lowest? It's actually mind-blowing that some of the lowest win rate heroes are like some of the best heroes in Dota. At least at the pro level. But either way, we're going to talk about pangolier. This is a crazy match. 23-1 and 18. I mean, an absolute shellacking. And we're going to talk about how to lane, how to snowball, how to get to your item timings, because I think a lot of people also play this hero in a very wuss way. They don't go very heavy into the aggressive items. What I mean by that is something I've even learned from Red, who's the Pango spammer on my Dota team, is that going all in on DPS makes the hero look better, like in general. Obviously, I'm sure there's an argument to be made around buying an early Basher, buying an early Lotus, buying Greaves Halberd some games, you know what I mean? I mean, this hero can go a plethora of different item builds, but this Diffusal Blink Axe definitely makes the hero do a ridiculous amount of damage at level 15 when you get your shield crash in ball talent. If you don't know what I'm talking about, at level 15, when you're ulting, your hero's W becomes a 3-second cooldown. This synergizes with the Aghanim Scepter because when you shield crash, you swashbuckle out of the shield crash, and so essentially the Aghanims should line up with your level 15, which is why you would never rush it, but you certainly would want to get it at the same time you hit level 15. Either way, let's hop into it. Also, I want to tell you guys that if you've been struggling with solo queue and you're looking to get to the next rank, I'm going to be able to help you. Like, literally, with the Game Leap website, I'm going to give you guys guides that are going to make it unbelievably clear on what you need to do. So if you've been stuck in the solo queue grind, you don't know what to do, and you want to become absolutely broken, but like actually you want to become much, much better at Dota, and you want to take it more seriously, the Game Leap website is going to help you do that. So click the link down below. I'm going to help you get to the next rank, and I'll see you there. So in terms of the laning stage, he actually didn't skill anything up yet. He's mostly focused on pulling creep aggro and contesting the individual CS. I think because he's against Storm Spirit, he feels pretty comfortable to play chill, but it's definitely a little bit weird to me that he... Oh, that's pretty cool. I haven't seen that before. I don't know why. It seems so straightforward and simple, but that's pretty cool. So the wave goes under the tower, and what he does is typically you let the tower hit 3 times, and then you try to nuke, or you try to last it. But he lets it hit twice, and then he shield crashes, and then hits. Oh, it's basically a guarantee as well, because you're going to catch people off guard. And he got that CS. This guy's a god. Oh, 6 and 2, last thing under tower. It's pretty risky to let the wave go under your tower like that. It's very uncommon, but whatever, here we are. From there, your hero wants to play very passive, okay? Pangolier's biggest downside is certainly his laning stage, and they even just nerfed his laning stage. This hero used to do 90 damage at level 1, which was pretty respectable and made securing melee creeps in particular very, very easy. Now it's only 75 damage, which, yes, it's only 15 less damage, but it certainly matters for securing creeps and overall harass on the enemy. But even let's say when the hero had 90 damage on shield crash at level 1, it still was a pretty bad laner. It just doesn't trade well. You know what I mean? Like, Swashbuckle doesn't do that much damage. Yes, the advantage of the hero in lane is that Shield Crash gives you 20% resistance when you hit the enemy laner. And you'll typically see if someone's going to trade, or they want to secure a range creep, they're going to use the Shield Crash over the Swash in a lot of cases, so that they can, get that 20% resistance and look for autos. But because of the fact that Storm Spirit has Static Remnant, you're never really going to look to trade with this guy. Maybe I'll eat my words in a bit if he goes for a solo kill, but for the most part, you're just shield crashing and then using the fact that you take little damage to disengage. And as I was saying, when it comes to putting pressure, you really want to go aggressive on your Blightstone timing. I'm just kidding, I wasn't saying this, but this is a good play that he makes. So at 3-minute mark here, he shield crashes in, and I think it's because he's at an HP advantage. And oh, it's so cool, man. These guys are so good. He checks the Storm's items to kind of get a gauge on where the Storm is at. He checks his items, he sees that Storm is tanking 2 melee creeps, Storm is potentially about to tank a range creep as well if he trades with the Pango. No, okay, does a good job of nuking first, but on the Blightstone timing, and considering Storm is lower HP than him, which is kind of just a fact of him using his regen very well, and shield crashing a lot, he's able to get really good damage on Storm Spirit. And now he actually has an opportunity to kill him, and he's going to go for it. Fairy Fire comes out, but he knows that's not enough, and there you go. I have to eat my words instantly. These pro players, I mean, they just know their limits, but it really comes down, like, you'll notice that when it came to killing the Storm, it wasn't some consistent and constant pressure. I mean, there was a little bit of pressure here and there on a shield crash, but for the most part, he wasn't auto-attacking Storm, right? He kind of waited to this Blightstone timing, used the shield crash to make Storm tank the creep wave a bit more, and so that he would take less damage, and yeah, gets off to a good start. Now, eventually, Pangolier does do a lot of damage. He has a Corrosion in minute 4 here, which is obviously very early, but either way, when you hit this early of a timing and you hit level 5 with Blightstone, which you typically will buy the Blightstone before boots, if the lane is really hard, you don't go Blightstone, you go boots first. The reason why is you want to be able to avoid as many autos as possible, sneak in and out for CS, and contest more runes as fast as you can. You also might want to rotate. But in this case, with the shield crash and level 5 advantage he has, right? Storm is level 4, he's level 5, and he has net worth advantage as well. He can get very aggressive on Storm. He even bought a Clarity, which kind of goes to show he plans on spamming spells. And yeah, he's going to look to dive. And this is just such good gameplay. Glyphs to tower, and that's going to be a solo kill. There's no way you get away from the Corrosion. And yeah, I mean, that's why pro players, they snowball, guys. And that's why when you think like, oh, I can't carry my games, I mean, it's just cap. Right? Are you getting a solo kill every game? It sounds like an insane question. It's like, do you really expect me to get a solo kill mid every game? No, I don't expect you to get a solo kill mid every game. But if it's not happening in a good percentage of games, if you truly think you're better than your bracket, you're not better than your bracket. There are matchups that you genuinely almost will never get a solo kill, okay? That kind of is the case. But for the most part, I would say 80% of matchups, if you are better, like this matchup, you can make a big play, and he certainly has shown that. And he's queued up treads. Wow, that's like a real early aggression build. We'll see if it pays off. So at level 7, Swashbuckle's a really low cooldown, and you can spam it on the enemy mid. And this is typically when you're going to look to rotate as well. Like, this hero's damage at level 7 is disgustingly high. As we actually see a TP bottom with no mana. Is he going to be able to get this done? Pops the regen, swashes, and he's just going to roll. Is this... Wow, this is actually going to work. Oh no, he's going to get the run as well. That's... What a nice, I mean, that's actually just a great rotation. I don't think I would ever TP there. I just wouldn't know the fact that I'd catch up that fast. And just great awareness. And right there, I mean, that's also a great use of the regen rune because of the fact that he got to cast the roll and then pop the regen. So he just nearly got full mana, or more than a full mana pool from that regen rune. An insane value. He's going to head back to mid now, push out the mid lane, which is typically what you want to do on mid heroes. You know what I mean? You want to hit a gank and then you want to go back to mid. The only exception to that is, let's say you're playing like Leshrac and you don't have any major cooldowns. You can gank the enemy offlane or safe lane, stay in the tree line, maybe farm the nearby camps if you have the resources for it, and then gank them again when they have no TP because you don't have cooldowns. But with Pango, it's a little bit hard. I mean, you could gank again because like Swashbuckle's insane, but for the most part, you don't want to. As he's going to walk top here, this is just like an insane overextension, actually, from the enemy. He's going to be a little bit careful about the drow. Hits the swash, Coddle finishes him off, and they get the Undying. This is just, I don't know, this is just horrible gameplay from the enemy team. I don't know what they're doing. But it's good that he punishes it, I will say. From there, back to mid lane, and with the treads, so typically you're going to see a Diffusal rush, and the reason why is Diffusal makes hitting roll reliable, it makes Swashbuckle do an insane amount of damage, chasing people down becomes easy, like, it's just like too good of an item on Pango. But the treads are good if you're having like a GG game. Why did he just get 2 D wards with a mid-sentry? But yeah, so the key to Pango is to push out mid as fast as possible and then open up the ability to rotate. When you push out mid fast, the enemy doesn't see you, and that has to make them scared. And if they aren't scared, you kill them, and that's what we're going to see here. Typically, you would see more of a path where you're going to push out the mid wave at minute 840 and then get the enemy bounty rune and then gank their safe lane. That's like an insanely effective rotation. You can also do the same thing on the other side, but basically you push out the mid wave, getting into this minute 9 bounty rune, and then it's going to allow you to rotate. Now, in terms of spell casting, it's important to know your limits. In this clip here, he's in a bit of a weird spot. Thankfully, the Coddle is going to save his mana pool and save his shield crash cooldown because he's looking to contest the 10-minute rune. Swashbuckle is up, and typically you just want to get your swash out as soon as possible. This swash is actually insanely good. You have to be a little bit careful about swashing in when shield crash is on cooldown because you're not that survivable without the resistance, right? For every hero you hit, you get 20% resistance. So he's going to hit a 2-man swash here. It's going to eventually follow up into a 2-man shield crash, but he's clicking the Storm like crazy. And, you know, this is part of the benefit of treads. I will admit, I feel like having the Diffusal at this point, I guess maybe he could have it because he has 5 kills and 70 CS at minute 10. But yeah, he's going to kite out a bit. And the reason why he kites out, even though Storm is 1 HP, is because he has extremely good awareness to know that Storm is going to bottle and zip if he tries to auto. So he knows that Storm is kind of baiting him here, and this is just like pro-level awareness, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie, it's just pro-level awareness. He understands I don't have shield crash, I have to be afraid of rotations, I'm near the tier 1, I know the Mirana's nearby, right? I don't want to get like killed by a Starstorm when my shield crashes down, so he kind of waits for the shield crash. Then he shield crashes out. I feel like maybe he could have waited for the next swash and then shield crashed later. And the reason why is, I don't know, the value from the shield crash here, the resistance isn't too good. You're not getting that much value. I mean, I guess he's tanking some zombies, but yeah, maybe he could have saved it, because you don't want to shield crash unless you're really going to get like resistance out of it. Obviously, you can use it to finish kills as well, but for the most part, you want to chill. And he's getting refreshed a lot by this Caudal, which is a really nice combo. Caudal Pango, extremely powerful as he's going to chase down the Mirana, and they take her out as well. And from there with the Fusel Blade, you kind of just kill anybody. Like, truly, this is a Dragonite, right? And you could see immediately when you hit the lucky shot, you reduce armor by, oh, he took the armor reduction talent. Wow. I never see people take this. Almost everyone, from my experience, takes Swashbuckle Slash range, so you can poke people from far away, but he actually took Lucky Shot armor reduction, which puts Lucky Shot up to -7 armor, which is an insane amount of armor reduction if you think about it, right? 7 armor. Slaughter's ulti at level 1, I believe, is 15, right? So it's half of a Slaughter ult. And then he has Corrosion, so he's reducing DK armor by 10, which is actually insane, and that's going to allow them to make this guy look pretty damn squishy. Diffusal comes out, and yeah, this level 8 Dragonite with 3 points in Dragon's Blood melts. From there, I mean, I don't know, his gameplay is so nice because he's just so fast. I don't know how much he's communicating with his teammates, but it's like really beautiful that this Caudal has a smoke, and he's maybe saying like, hey, smoke me to top, right? Because this smoke to top is so effective, because they just saw the Pangolier bot, and so the Drow's going to get a little bit comfortable. She's going to be like, yeah, I can hit these neutrals. There's no Pango. Well, there is a Pango. He's actually right here, and now Drow is dead. So, once again, this gameplay is just insane. And by the way, he's killing Pure, right? This guy's rank 2. So if you think, oh, this Drow just sucks, the Drows in my bracket would never die to that gank. Yes, they would. They certainly would. Because those are the most effective ganks, where you show yourself in one part of the map, and then you gank the other part of the map. I'm not gonna lie, in the average pub, you kind of just can walk to a side lane and you're probably gonna get a kill. And that's why ganking tends to be like very effective in your average pub. And it's really crazy, like one of the nice things about this Pango build, this Diffusal build, is that you just solo kill supports. Like you miss Swash, but your auto attacks are just so potent. Especially if you take this armor reduction talent as I'm watching it, like the treads plus the armor reduction talent actually slaps. Like, as they hit another smoke. Okay, this is a bad smoke. This smoke is questionable. Maybe they end up picking up a storm kill because this guy's like blind or something, but oh, can the Lion close the gap? Dude, no way Storm gets hit by that. Come on! The Lion literally showed. He's gonna roll in, hit the Diffusal onto the Mirana. Typically you want to roll and hit the Diffusal. Actually rolls past her, has the awareness to know they can go onto the DK, and oh man, Brood has an Orchid. And yeah, you can see that this game, I mean, this is why this hero is insane. Obviously his team is having a good game, but like, you kill mid, let's say you happen to get a solo kill mid, okay? You make that play, you make that big play. The snowball potential of Pango is like higher than any other hero, because your cooldowns and your mana pool is ridiculous. The spells on this hero are not that mana intensive. Shield Crash is 85, Swashbuckle is 90, your ulti is 150, it's really not that long of a cooldown, and therefore your hero, as long as you're getting the occasional rune and have the occasional clarity, as he has one in his backpack, you're chilling, and then you just gank side lane, side lane, side lane, side lane, side lane. Like, the gameplay is honestly pretty straightforward. The only thing I will say that really impressed me this game, like, was pretty, at least from my perspective, out of the ordinary. I'm not saying his gameplay is, like, ordinary. He's ranked 2 or 3. His gameplay is not ordinary, but the TP bottom was cool, right? TP bottom into roll. It's kind of like TPing bottom is Quap or Puck or Ember, because you can close the gap. I mean, even it makes a lot of sense with Pango too. I don't know, for some reason I haven't seen that. So yeah, that play was nice, but then you gank a side lane, you push out mid, you make sure you get your resources up by picking up bounties and power runes, so you need to have the awareness there. You need to be swapping to intreads when casting your abilities. You need to pop the occasional clarity. And as long as you do this, you can kill a lane, gank, kill a lane, push out mid, kill a lane, push out mid, smoke to another lane, push out mid, kill some stupid support who's walking through the river for no reason. Yeah. And part of the reason I consider this hero such a pub stomper if you get off to a good start is because of its chase potential. A lot of heroes tend to run out of resources if they go for a kill. For instance, if we watch this clip here, a Storm Spirit trying to kill Drow Ranger here would simply run out of mana just trying to kill the Drow, right? It would take at least 3/4 of Storm's mana pool. However, Pangolier, it's just like, I mean, he has an Arcane Rune, which is just, don't get me started about Pangolier with an Arcane Rune. It's disgusting. But yeah, he goes onto the Dragonite, and like a couple seconds after swashing the Dragonite, because of the Arcane Rune, it's back up again, and yeah, just decimates the Undying. I mean, these low armor heroes against this level 10 armor reduction talent just melt. I mean, they melt even if you don't take it, but like, it's pretty crazy how much they melt. From there, he actually does slow down the pace of the game a little bit. Maybe he's trying not to show on a ward and wants to scare the enemies, or maybe it's just efficiency, but he actually farms the triangle briefly there. And then he's going to head back over to his team when the roll is coming back up, right? Roll up in 1 second, and he's going to walk back over and look to play the ward. They end up bumping into the Storm Spirit here. He's going to drop the roll and find the chain stun, and they're going to find the Mirana as well. And now roll is only, what, a 70-second cooldown? What is the cooldown on this ability? It's 80, but it lasts for 10 seconds, so it's truly only a 70-second cooldown. Okay, they're going to Rosh. Level 12 Exo. And Pangolier, one of the nice things about Pango too, is you're a great Roshan hero. Disarm on Roshan, extremely valuable early on, right? A hero like Death Prophet cannot tank the Rosh, so you actually should... What is this Undying? So yeah, DP usually can't take the Rosh, so she can't Rosh alone, but with the help of a Pangolier and the armor reduction, it really enables the physical damage of Exorcism, and they're going to be able to nearly take the Rosh just with the two of them. So yeah, it's just a Roshan hero as well. Like, most of the spirits and most of the tempo mids provide almost nothing for objectives, where Pango, he buys corrosion for towers, which, you know, is not a huge deal, but it's something, and then, you know, really helps with the Rosh. But okay, he'll find the Storm Spirit here, drop onto him, and at this point, what they're just doing well, like what his gameplay is really good at, is just playing wards. And a lot of players have the problem where they'll watch a video like this, they're like, I want to be GPK, and then they just like run into no vision for like the entire game. That doesn't work. Okay, you have to play your wards, your player vision. The only time he's not playing wards, not playing vision, is off of smokes. Okay, you're not going to see him blind walk uphill. You will see your average 2k MMR player blind walk up hills. Don't blind walk up hills. I've done it in my pubs recently. It's not good. It doesn't work. You think it's going to work because you're strong, and then you die to 4 heroes. Don't do it. Just play your wards, right? Get the simple kills. Someone will likely walk onto it. Realistically, in your average game, someone will almost always walk onto it because the awareness is just not there. I know I'm kind of saying that a lot, but I'm just saying the mistakes that people make are so consistent. So if you know what the right plays are, you're going to get rewarded for them, where sometimes in very high MMR games, you'll get dodged. Even if you're making a good play, you'll get dodged. You're going to have to make a play maybe even more unpredictable to really pick up kills. And that tends to come from smokes. That's why I think people really learn to smoke more and more as they gain MMR, because they're like, I'm not getting the same kills I usually would from just playing wards and running around, right? People are starting to get smarter. I have to actually use Smoke of Deceit, which is why the item becomes more and more popular the higher you go. So from there, he actually slows down the pace of the game. He's going to get his hags. I mean, at this point, I guess he's chasing someone dying around the map. But alright, this match is about done, as he's already 13-1, and he's just going to TP around trying to kill people with his Arcane Rune. Is he going to find the DK? He is. And look at the damage of this hero, because now with the Ags, okay, well played from DK getting bumped up the hill, but with the Ags, you can kind of just keep shield crashing, and really the power of it is that you do these swash attacks, and if you're really good at it, so I don't know exactly the timing, and I think almost no one does, but if you click shield crash when you're like right behind the person you're rolling on, every single swash from the Ags, because it shoots out like a cross, right? So usually you only hit them with 2 of them, but you can hit them with, I believe, all of them. The timing is extremely small, and like the window is really hard to hit. It's like playing one of those arcade games where you gotta hit the button and make the light pop up at the right time. It's impossible. It's super rigged. But at the same time, it is possible. And so you can go on to people and really explode them. Like supports, you can nearly one-shot them with 1 shield crash if you hit the timing. So it's like right when you're right behind them. And yeah, you just solo kill people. And this is kind of what it looks like. Like obviously he's level 17, but he would do the same damage he's currently doing at level 15. And you just solo kill cores in team fights, especially when you get your shard, because what you do when you get your shard is you roll into them, you do the swash thing where you kind of like swash on top of them, you turn around, you wait for the shield crash to come back up, and then you do it again, and then everyone just dies, right? Like the hero, because I think a part of the reason the hero has a bad win rate, besides the fact that it's just mechanically very difficult, is largely because people don't know how to scale. They probably feel like I just fall off. They're like, I just become a stun bot. You become a stun bot because you don't know how to mechanically execute the Ags level 15 timing with the shard. When you get that down, the hero becomes completely different. Another little tech as well is canceling roll early. This is something I see all the good Pango players do like constantly, and people just forget to cancel roll because they're like, it's my ulti, why would I ever cancel it? But if you need to finish a kill because you know you're not going to hit the next chain stun and it's against a hero like Storm Spirit, you should cancel the roll. And this clip is a good example of that. He's going to roll in, pop the W. He pops the roll up, but I think he messes up. No, he hits the chain stun, but he realizes the shield crash here is not going to hit the Storm, right? If he pops it, it's going to miss. So he's like, okay, it's going to miss. I'll just cancel, right? And that is what you want to do. Typically, what you truly want to do is hit the shield crash button and then hit swash. And you can like drag the shield crash. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but like you'll notice if you tried it in a demo lobby, you can shield crash and swash and then like bring the shield crash to people. And that allows you to like really explode at the end of your roll or whenever you decide to cancel your roll. So I think he even technically could have done that slightly better, but he didn't need it in that case. So now in terms of neutral items and talents and future talents, at level 20, when you're going the axe build, you take swashbuckle damage. It's pretty obvious. You're swashing all the time with the axe and level 15 talent. At level 25, you take rolling thunder cooldown. Swashbuckle cooldown is a very good talent. Like, it is actually very, very good. Especially when you get basher, you can just bash, bash, bash. Like, it is very, very good, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, rolling thunder cooldown it just makes your hero insane. If you get an arcane rune and eventually an octarine core, it's like a 8-second cooldown, 10-second cooldown. I mean, it's like an 18-second cooldown even without octarine or arcane, like even if you only have one of them. So it's just pretty crazy how the 25 talent allows you to just get 2 rolls off in a team fight. And roll is just a ridiculous spell inherently. Like, this ability is just insane. Like, look at this. Like, what is this? What is this? What other hero can just click a button and go into no vision? That's like, you have to like BKB to do that. Pango just hops in, and usually you don't want to do that because you don't want to waste your roll, but he was protecting the Roshan there. That was clearly the idea. All right, and to end off the video, I'd like to look at GPK's very impressive, his driving skills. This guy knows what he's doing. So on the roll in, it's just good to be aware of like hitting one target and then redirecting to another. In this exact example, he bounces off the wall, which is nice, like good awareness of the wall, preventing him from having to use roll up. You only want to use roll up when you have to optimally, because roll up is insanely valuable. It lets you chain stun someone. Well, it's not a technical chain stun. You can BKB in between Pango's rolls. You can, so keep that in mind. But for the most part, if they don't have BKB, then you can chain stun them. For instance, like right here, maybe he could have tried to bounce off this wall, but it would have been slow. So instead, he hits the roll up, kind of chain stun the trial a little bit, hit her with the swash, potentially disarm her, bashes the Marana, which is like, okay. But yeah, redirects onto the Undying, and now he even probably should have ended his roll on the Undying, knowing that the roll would have ended. Yeah, like, he definitely should have known, I'm thinking about it. Unless he wanted to get out, and he was afraid of overcommitting, he could have ended the roll on the Undying and then start auto-attacking him. Because, like, that is a good thing to do, right? You can end the roll, stun him, hit, right? And that's a lot of damage on supports. Oh, look at that swash! What the hell? Alright, but this fight's looking a little bit weird. He'll have to kite out of it. Unfortunately, he's not level 25 yet, so the roll will not come back up, and he will have to kite out a tad as... This fight is... The enemy team is actually putting in work here. Unfortunately, the pangolier is just cooking. Even without ultimate. Even without his ult, he's just like doing way too much. And yeah, ultra kill. Alright. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully I inspired you to play pangolier. You're probably gonna grief. I'm not gonna cap. This hero is not easy. I'm probably making it look way easier than it seems. It is not that easy. Mechanically, it's a pretty difficult hero, and I think that comes into part of the reason why it's the 10th lowest winner hero in Dota, which makes no sense considering its upside, but it makes sense considering how hard it is, right? The upside is why it makes sense. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace!
And that's all! But remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!